Hello, it's Dawn Michelle from Boho Tarot, and welcome to another walk through the cards. Today we'll be taking a stroll through the gorgeous Influence of the Angels Tarot. I will share with you my thoughts about the cards and my impressions on this deck as we wander through the 78 cards of this tarot deck. We'll take a quick peek at the guidebook and wrap up our time together with a pull from this deck. In this lavish deck, angels lend their gentle spiritual influence through the traditional structure of the tarot, both as guiding spirits and as embodiments of classical archetypes. So let's go ahead and take a look at this beautiful deck. So we begin with our beautiful Fool, who has that definite angelic energy that does feature throughout this deck, but is not overpowering, which I really enjoy. This deck reminds me a lot of the Golden Tarot. And here is the beautiful backs, which do actually have a copyright on them, but it is so worked into the artwork that you cannot really even see it. And if I hadn't pointed out, you might not have noticed. So thank you, US Games, for making that change. Here we have our beautiful Magician. I love the little accents of this movement of energy in this card. Gorgeous High Priestess. This was one of the cards in the deck that kind of cinched this deck for me. I just think she's absolutely beautiful. She does have her angel wings and she is very angelic, but not overpowering, so not enough that it takes away from our traditional High Priestess understanding. So I really appreciate that about this deck. Beautiful Empress. The artwork in this deck, I do have to say, is very well done and it is stunning. I really enjoy it. Lovely Emperor. He is very Emperor-like, but again has the angel wings, so we're pulling that angelic energy into that Emperor archetype. Same with the Hierophant. We can see just the hint of his wings here, and he has his keys about his neck. He is very traditional, but also brings in that angelic energy. And as I said, the angelic energy is more of embodiment of the classical archetypes and the majors, and then we'll see more of just their more subtler influences in the minors. Beautiful Lovers card. We do have this sort of Adam and Eve vibe going on, which is usually not my favorite, but I think it works really well within the context of this deck. And our Chariot, again, beautiful artwork. I love the horses down here at the bottom, and we have this very majestic angelic figure there. Though a lot of the angels in this deck are androgynous, which is really nice. They look very powerful and in charge of their own destiny. And here we have Strength. The lion has a bit of a funny look on his face, but it's a gorgeous Strength card. I love the touches of the classic art that we see throughout this deck. Love this Hermit. He is very angelic, but he's also very hermity. So he's a very angelic hermit. Gorgeous blend, I think, in this card. For me, I think this card really embodies this beautiful blend of the traditional archetypes with the angelic imagery. I think this card in particular showcases how this deck does this very well. Very traditional kind of wheel. Again, gorgeous artwork. Love this Justice. Very traditional Justice, but pulls in that really classical art style, which I really like. Same with the beautiful Hangman. We get the lovely golden halo. It's gorgeous. Love this Death card, and we see the angel here escorting them into the beyond. And all the people here down below. Really beautiful. Very traditional Temperance with the flow, the alchemy of life. I think that's really gorgeous. Love this Devil card. Again, a little bit of an Adam and Eve feel going on here, but I think it really works for this deck. So I just think it's gorgeous imagery. Love this Tower. This Star is the one card in this deck that I'm not very fond of, and I think it's just the imagery, the way the imagery is put together, the dolphin and the angel, and it just doesn't work very well for me. I think it works fine for the star energy, but it just, artistically speaking, doesn't work really well for me. But still a beautiful card. Absolutely love this Moon card. I love all the sea creatures down here, but we have this very serene angel with the gorgeous moon behind them. I think it's just absolutely beautiful. A really powerful moon card. Love the sun, even though it's not just one baby. We have lots of babies. So I think this works really well within the context of this deck. Gorgeous Judgment. Love her face. It's so beautiful. The faces in this deck are really gorgeous. The creator did a wonderful job. And again, we see a beautiful World card. We definitely get that sense of wholeness and completion, which I love. And then we move into the minors. We have our Ace of Cups. And our beautiful 2. Again, very traditional, but it just speaks to that classic art style, which I really like. Same with the 3 of Cups here. Just a beautiful representation of the 3 of Cups. And here we have the 4, and we definitely get that sense of that traditional energy, that Waite-Smith association, more towards the boredom. But I think that it doesn't lock you into that. I think you could read this card more from a numerological standpoint, which I really appreciate. But you definitely get that sense of tradition here with this card. Beautiful 5 of Cups. The artwork in this deck is just gorgeous. Wonderful 6 of Cups. Here you see the angelic figure just kind of in the background, not overpowering the imagery. And we see that a lot in the minors. This is the only other card in the deck that I really am not fond of. It's a beautiful card. The art is exquisite. It just... imagery-wise, just doesn't do a whole lot for me. It's very traditional, but it just, doesn't do much for me. Love this 8 of Cups. Gorgeous. I could say that about all these cards. 9 of Cups. Again, here we see the little angel down here. Beautiful 10. And here we have our Page of Cups. And our Knight. Beautiful Queen. And our King. Moving into our swords with the Ace. Love this 2 of Swords. It's very traditional, but you can see here's the angels, and you can also see through her blindfold. I don't know if it'll show up on camera, but her blindfold is kind of sheer. I can see her eyes through it, so I'm assuming she can see out. I think that's a really interesting interpretation for the 2. I really like that. And here we have a more traditional 3 of Swords. We definitely get this sense of perhaps a pierced heart with this, but we don't see the 3 swords directly going into her heart, so I do really appreciate that because you can read it more numerologically. Still a beautiful card. The 4 of Swords. The 5. I really love this 5 of Swords. I love this face here up in the clouds. The angelic presence is up there, and it's very kind of shadowy, and I really think that that's just beautiful for this card. Gorgeous 6 with our little angel up top here. And our 7. Again, we get the more traditional, thief energy in this card, but I think you could work with it more numerologically as well. Love this 8 of Swords. I love that the swords are around her. They are not in there. She is not bound by them, but they are definitely containing her. But all she has to do is get up, and she's free. So I think that's really beautiful. Lovely 9 of Swords. Definitely get a sense of some disruptive thoughts there. And the 10 of Swords. And we do have this 10 swords in the back, which is generally not my favorite, but there's not any blood or anything, and it is still just a beautiful image. And our Page of Swords. And our Knight. Beautiful Queen of Swords. Again, we see the little angel, not overpowering the image, but just adding their subtle energy to the card. And the King of Swords. Love this Ace of Pentacles. I think it's so beautiful. Love all the imagery down here at the bottom with the castle and the village, and it's very very earthy, very daily life, but we still have our little angel influences at the top. I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. Two of Pentacles. And our 3. I love this 4 with a book on her head. It's beautiful. Beautiful 5 of Pentacles. And our 6. It's beautiful 7 of Pentacles. And our 8. I love how the pentacles are different and they match the energy of the card, which is really beautiful. And our 9. And here we see our traditional bird. And our 10 of Pentacles. Our page, you can see the angel in the background here, very subtle, which I appreciate. The Knight of Pentacles. And our Queen. Our King. I'm not sure what's going on with his hair. It's still a beautiful card, but his hair looks a little funny to me, like he's wearing a toupee. The Ace of Wands, which again, really a powerful card. Very beautiful. Our 2 of Wands. Love this 3. Very traditional, but I really like the colors in this. And you have the angel up here. Again, very, very subtle, which I appreciate. Beautiful 4 of Wands. And our 5, which looks more like a game rather than a battle, which I like. 6 of Wands. And our 7, his face is funny. He looks really determined, but he also looks a little bit scared. I love this 8 of Wands. It doesn't really kind of fit with the rest of the imagery. It's a little bit more primal, I think, but it's still really beautiful, and I think it works really well. Our 9 of Wands. Our 10. I like in this 10 of Wands that the wands aren't on his back. He's holding them, he's managing them. We have his angel here guiding him, and I think that's really gorgeous. Our Page of Wands. Our Knight. Queen of Wands. Love our flower there. And our Kings, who just has a priceless expression on his face. He looks like he is out to conquer the world. So really interesting King of Wands. So there you go. So that is a look through all of those. This deck does have the super shiny gilding that I do not like, so I might be taking that off. But it is an absolutely gorgeous deck. So here we have the little guidebook, and it is deck size, which is lovely. It fits inside the box very nicely. And it has a little introduction to this deck and how it's created with your minors and your majors. So here we have a list of some of the different symbols and meanings that we find in each card. We have the Angel Association symbols, which I really appreciate, which talks a little bit about some of the things you see in the artwork. A direct meaning, a shadow meaning, which is really interesting. I'm really curious to dig deeper into the shadow meaning of the cards. And then we have an angelic message, which we would expect in an angel deck. So we go straight into the cards. And here we see the angel listed. Again, our symbols. Talks about the number, which I really appreciate. A direct meaning, the shadow meaning, and the angelic message. We do have a black and white image for each of them. And we have that same layout through all of the cards, including the minors, which I appreciate. So here in the back, we have a little bit of information about reading the tarot with the influence of angels, which is more just about shuffling and laying cards. We do have the influence of the angels tarot spread, which I'm excited to give this one a try. We have a Heart of the Matter tarot spread. And then we go into about the author, or the authors, I should say. So there you go. Really brief, but I think really effective little guidebook. I'm excited to dig into it and give this one a read. So before we wrap things up here, let's go ahead and give this deck a shuffle and pull a card and check out the meaning in the book. So we will see how it shuffles here. Which is hard to do on my new mat here, only because I'm trying not to knock everything over. It does shuffle fairly well. I am getting some chipping on that gilding already, which is another reason why I don't like the super shiny gilding, but I'm probably going to cut it off. So let's go ahead and pull a card and check out the message. So we have the sun. So let's find the sun in the guidebook. Here we go. And we have the angel represented on the card, which is cherubs, and says cherubs are unnamed angelic beings. Their prime purpose is to show us the glory and greatness of God. They remind us that God's presence is with us every second of every day. So for our symbols, we have the 4 cherubs. So these cherubs take the form of young children, which convey a sense of honest, buoyant playfulness. Their nakedness denotes a natural state, as well as having nothing to hide. Additionally, 4 is the number that signifies balance and stability. Another symbol we see is the sun. In the context of this card, the sun represents God's loving and positive presence. Generally, it represents the idea that what was once hidden in the darkness is now bathed in light. Things are out in the open, able to be seen and understood. Also, the sun provides warmth and comfort. Most importantly, it sustains the existence of every living thing on this planet. It represents energy, enthusiasm, and liveliness. So then we have our direct meaning here with clarity and understanding, positive energy, fresh and alive, young, new, confident and enthusiastic, sensing the presence of God. So our direct meaning in this case seems to be more keywords. And here we have shadow meaning, which is unrealistically ignoring anything negative, forcing a positive spin on something that is neutral or negative. I really enjoy the shadow meaning. I'm looking forward to getting into that more. And finally, we have our angelic message. If you're not feeling the sun's positive energy, don't be dismayed. Try to be confident and think positively. Fake it till you make it. Before you know it, the enthusiasm is real. So there we have the beautiful message to go with the beautiful card. So I'm really looking forward to digging deeper into these cards. The artwork is just absolutely gorgeous, and that was one of the things that really just cinched this deck for me. Generally, I'm not really into angel energy, but I say that, and lately that seems to be all I'm drawn to, so maybe there's a time and a place for it. But it's an absolutely gorgeous deck, and I am really excited to dig into it. It does remind me a lot of the Golden Tarot. I'm kind of curious to see how they will end up working out together. Maybe I'll do a comparison if anybody's interested. But in the meantime, thank you for joining me through this walkthrough of the influence of the Angels Tarot. I hope you enjoyed this stroll through the cards and will join me again soon for more creative tarot for an inspired life.